to the Browns, the Cleveland Browns versus the Dallas Cowboys preview. I am G. Bush, of course, and you already know what it is. It's the barbershop. If you don't know how I give it up, I give an honest review. I give an honest recap. If you don't like facts, you're in the wrong place. But if you want to keep it 100, if you like football, if you like X's and O's, if you like to get an in-depth analysis of the football game, if you like some fun, entertaining stuff, you're in the right place. It's your boy G. Bush. It's the barbershop. And as always, if you want to get some hot gear, if you want to support the show, you want to support the movement, and you want to support the barbershop, as always, shopfifthmerch.com. Shopfifthmerch.com is where you can get all the barbershop gear, and go ahead and check that out at your own leisure. I want to thank everybody for supporting the brand and supporting the barbershop. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. I got a regular radio show that I start that I call the barbershop. I know, really creative. You got a YouTube channel called the same thing as your regular show, right? But you know, some people will be cool with just doing a regular radio show, but, you know, I like to reach out to all different types of people. Some people like this avenue of media. Some people like the regular radio media. I like to get involved with everybody. I like to, if you leave me a comment, I try to like or heart or respond to every single person who sends me a comment. I just like interacting with the people. Browns versus the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are a very, very, very interesting story. Whether you want to believe it or not, I'm going to just put this out here. The Dallas Cowboys are a brand in this league, and you can't say nothing about it. Salute to them. Just the same way that the Cleveland Browns are a brand in this game, and we lose, right? We take L's year after year after year after year, and we've done so since 1964. But you can't take our stripes away. The Cleveland Browns are a flagship organization in this game. Cleveland Browns are a flagship organization as far as what we mean and what we stand for this league in general. Our colors are iconic. The fact that we don't have a logo are iconic. The fact that I wore this elf, we got the coldest logo that ain't even a logo. This is not even NFL issued gear. This is the coldest logo in the game, and this joint ain't even used. How you got a logo this cold and it ain't even on a helmet or a field? That's how you know you got a legacy. You got fans all around the world. We got backers. However, the Dallas Cowboys are just as iconic. Can't hate on it. Can't hate on it. That star is iconic. That star means something. When you say the Dallas Cowboys, you say America's team. When you got a hole cut in the roof of a stadium so God can watch his team. Man, my grandfather always said, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. And that's one hell of a line. Jerry Jones, say what you want. He's a businessman. He's a good talker. I don't like everything he says, but he markets the hell out of his team. Those Cowboys teams, Aikman, Irvin, Dion, Emmitt Smith, Big Cat Leon Lett, Haley, come on, Novacek, Moose, come on. One of the best guards of all time, not debating. Larry Allen. You want to see something impressive? Go watch Larry Allen run down. Go watch Larry Allen run down a man on an interception. Matter of fact, go ahead and cut to the tape. I ain't even going to tell you.
Under 5 minutes left in the half, and that's not in the air and picked off by Darian Connor. And Connor is inside the 40, the 30, and tackled at the 16-yard line.
Larry Allen. I can't believe that. Give me a break. The rookie from Sonoma State. This guy weighs 325 pounds.
Wayne Martin batted it We think Darian Connor with the pick, and Allen saves the touchdown.
I can't get over that. He runs down a very speedy linebacker. A little bit of an angle, but this is a huge man. This guy's got a rocket booster strapped to his back. All right, there's the bat by Martin. Right into Allen is still standing there. There he is to the left of your screen.
He didn't even get a running start at it.
Look at this, folks. 6'3", 325 pounds.
His arms like a sprinter.
I'm telling you, that's one of the most impressive athletic feats I have ever seen.
Listen, Dallas Cowboys got playmakers. Terrell Owens. Dallas Cowboys they get it done. Tony Romo, they get it done. Dallas Cowboys got ball players. But when you watch the Dallas Cowboys, they got the cachet. And anytime you get an opportunity to go play in Dallas, the game means something. Every time you get an opportunity to go over there. Why do you think college teams say, hey, we going to Jerry's world? The college football playoff means something there. It just gets a little bit bigger. When you go to Lambeau Field, it's a little bit bigger. I feel like John Madden, when John Madden called that game and Pat Summerall called that game, and it's, we're coming to Dallas. Live from, like when Pat Summerall says, live from Candlestick Park. Woo! God! My autofocus went off. Live from Lambeau Field. Boy, man, as a football dude, I just imagine I literally have 3 to 4 herniated discs that can't be operated on. Boy, but I still get chills up my spine when you talk about the marquee games. And the Cleveland Browns have an opportunity to go and wear them chocolate tops in Jerry's world and play the Cowboys. 1 o'clock game. I'm excited. I'm excited, boys. Boys, I'm excited. How excited are you to see your Cleveland Browns against one of the marquee names in the game? But you know what it is. It ain't all about marquee names. It's about what you do on the field. It's only on paper until you put them cleats on. And let's talk about let's go between the lines and talk about what it means between the lines. You know, last week, I think Kevin Stefanski was a rookie. Had little rookie hiccups. You know, sometimes, you know, taking your identity and finding your identity means that you got to just, you know, figure out what works and what don't work. And I think he was a little bit skittish. I think he was a little pass happy. I think he wanted to come back and repeat what his success was against the Bengals. I think he wanted to get Baker in a little bit of a rhythm. Baker started off, I think, 10 of 11 against the Bengals. Hit him, boom, boom, stick and move. Woo, woo. Get him, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, right? He wanted to get Baker into the mix, at the same time, get Odell ready to go, right? But Baker, he wasn't as accurate. He airmailed a couple throws. He wasn't as accurate as he was. And I think for the first 3 quarters, I think the game plan didn't go as promised, right? But you see what happened as the 4th quarter came along. I was talking to some different people, and they talked about the run game. And one of the things that a couple of people brought up is, you know, the Redskins were in wide nines and wide techniques and all that. No. We don't care about that. The Browns did a good couple wrinkles. They did a couple of other things. I went back and watched this film, and one of the things that they did is they brought Wyatt Teller, who is becoming one of the nastiest guards in the league. They start pulling him backside. They start pulling Wyatt Teller and making him backside, taking him, pulling him, kicking out the end. See, there's a couple of things that you can do versus wide techniques. You don't have to outflank him. We don't have to outflank you on runs. What we can just straight do is we can kick you out, block out, and run underneath you. That's exactly what the Cleveland Browns did with Kareem Hunt. We'll kick out the end, we'll kick Montez Sweat out, and run underneath you with our running backs. There's multiple ways to skin a cat in the run game. We don't have to outflank you all the time. Outside runs can go and be designed to go outside, but cut it back inside. Those are still outside runs. The design is just a little bit different. And I think Kevin Stefanski and Bill Callahan did a great job, and Van Pelt did a great job of changing the trajectory of your runs. And I think that's the sign of a great running team. They attack you at different levels. It doesn't have to be stretch. It doesn't have to be off tackle. It doesn't have to be inside zone. They can attack you in multiple different levels, right? And that's the sign of a great running team. And for the Cleveland Browns, what they must do is in order to win on the road in Dallas, they must establish the run. Not only in the fourth quarter, they must establish the whole entire game. Not just one quarter. One quarter at home against a bad Washington team will get it done. Because the defense last game actually played at their highest ceiling. I told a couple people in the comment section, I said the defense played at their ceiling. They said, how, G. Bush? We got 3 or 4 starters out. How are you going to say that if they get those guys back, that's their ceiling? I said, well, it's easy. Average right now is 2.6 turnovers a game. 24 points being allowed. 24 points allowed per game right now. 2.6 turnovers. The Cleveland Browns gave you 5 turnovers last game, 5, and allowed 20 points. Even if you're down starters and you count Grant Delpit being down, you count Olivier Vernon being out, you count Greedy Williams being out, right? If you're going to count those starters being out, you count Matt Wilson being out. I don't care how many, that's 4 right there. But, hey, Grant Delpit is a rookie. He's still improving. Olivier Vernon is being inconsistent. Greedy Williams been injured a lot. And Matt Wilson, yes, we like his playmaking ability, but those people aren't worth 2 turnovers or 2.5 turnovers in 4 points. They're not defensively. They're just not. So, yes, the defense played above their head. That's the ceiling. You can't count on all those turnovers. So what I'm saying to you in terms of the defense is the defense gave you those turnovers. Against Dallas, you can't count on all that. Because when you talk about Dallas on the other side of the coin, Dak Prescott is thrown for 400 yards 2 games. Let's talk about who they got on the other side of the ball in Dallas. Gallup, at least 230 yards in the air. CeeDee Lamb, speed, deep, underneath route ability, big body, 230 yards in the air at least. And we know what Amari Cooper is. We know he's a proven commodity in this league. At least another 230 yards in the air. They got a tight end I've never heard of in my life. And he had 100-some-odd yards in 4 or 5 catches against Seattle last week. Dak Prescott, as I repeat, he has over 900 yards in 2 games. So when we talk about this, you can't count on the fact that you're going to get 5 turnovers. And that's the weakness of the Cleveland defense. Yes, you're getting Kevin Johnson back. Yes, you're getting him back. Welcome back. We need you back quick. Money Mitch, he's been good at one corner. But the skeleton in the closet is we can't call Greedy anymore because it looks like he don't want no playing time. Greedy's not greedy when it comes to the playing time. Once again, first 4 games of the season injured. Now, I can't tell you. If you watch my documentary, by the way, go watch the documentary. Go watch the documentary, American Dreams. I'll post the link up here. If you've seen it, I can't tell anybody about injuries. I spent most of my college career injured, 13 surgeries. Injuries, nobody wants to be injured, right? No player wants to be injured. No one signs up for that. However, injuries, the best ability is the availability. Greedy Williams has been injured the first 4 games last year. It's the 4th game this year. If they're going to do something about beating the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, they're going to need Greedy Williams to be available. You got Denzel Ward, who did come back. He tweaked his groin during the week last week. He was only able to play 20-some-odd snaps last week before re-injuring it again. When you play in the receiving core, all those guys are dangerous. All those guys I mentioned for Dallas are potent. And Carl Joseph has played better. But Anderson Sandejo, for some reason, the Browns coaching staff believes that Sandejo is better than Harrison. I don't know. I don't understand why. You traded for Harrison. Yes, a couple of weeks ago on a short Thursday night week, he did miss a call in the secondary that gave up some points. But by no means, way, shape, or form is he a less athlete than Sandejo, because he's getting turned around. He's getting turned around like a kid that's trying to leave timeout early. He's getting turned around like a shirt that's inside out on Mismatch Tuesdays. Sandejo cannot, listen, it's being polite to say he's a special teams player. It's being polite. It's being polite. They are lucky to be 2-1 right now with him as a starting safety in this league. Trying hard is not an attribute. That's a prerequisite to be in the NFL. So when we look at that, I give that a clear advantage to the Dallas Cowboys. We have not talked about Zeke Elliott yet. Have not even talked about Zeke Elliott. Averaging about 3.6 yards a carry. He's having mediocre year. I wouldn't give it. That's not due to him. Lael Collins is on injured reserve. All-pro tackle is week to week. All-pro tackle out of USC. His name escapes me at this moment. I'll think of it in a second. Week to week. Zach Martin has been a stud like he's always been, but the rest of the line, kind of sorta, nothing to write home about. I give that advantage to the Cleveland Browns up front. Sheldon Richardson has played well. Larry Ogunjobi has played well. Myles Garrett has continued to get strip sacks. He had another one last week. 16 sacks out of 17 games, continues to play well. I give the advantage up front to the Cleveland Browns offensive line. Or excuse me, to be truthful, offensive line and defensive line. I give that advantage to the Cleveland Browns. Give that advantage to the Cleveland Browns up front. They're a little banged up at the one defensive end position. We don't know. We have no clue what Olivier Vernon's going to do. I count him as we'll see if he shows up. That other end position, we don't know. We don't know what that's going to give us. Don't know what that's going to give us. But this game, when you take a look at it, this is going to show a couple of things, right? If the Browns come out and they are able to win this football game, this starts a clock, right? And we're going to be able to see one thing. And I'm going to tell you, you can tell your people where you heard this first. If the Browns win this game and go 3-1, all of a sudden, watch what happens. I told you here first. People who are not ready and people who have these mental games, watch the fans, watch the media. Watch the highlight. Watch the mind games people play with themselves. They'll tell themselves this is all last year all over again, right? Because people believe in media lines, narratives, tropes, and don't ever care about what actually happens on the field. They won't even watch what happens on the field. They'll just watch what somebody writes. Well, G. Bush, I just hope the Browns don't fall into what that happened last year, because you don't want to read your own press clippings. Look, same thing as last year. First-year coach Freddie Kitchens, first-year coach Kevin Stefanski. Is he going to get too pass happy? First year. Is Baker Mayfield going to have too many commercials? Because now the team's starting off so well at 3-1, and they beat the Cowboys on national TV. Is Odell Beckham Jr. going to now start demanding the ball because now he's not in the spotlight, because now they're 3-1, and he's not having the year that he thought he was going to have? Is the national media going to put too much pressure on the Cleveland Browns because they're 3-1? Is it all going to go down the drain? It's so predictable. It's I'm telling you, you know what? Todd Monken, if Kevin Stefanski can't call the plays, he's calling the plays right now. Is it time to turn it over to Van Pelt? Is it too much on his plate? See, these are the things and the tropes that frankly just piss me off. Because people not going to watch no games. They don't understand that the game is week to week. They're not going to do none of that. They're not even looking for it. They're just waiting for somebody to feed them something that's off a piece of paper so they can read it and then react. These games is week to week. Week to week. Trust me, if the Browns win the game, because it is a big game and because Dallas does mean somebody, people will get so happy and be so overblown and so overjoyed that if they turn around in the next week against Indianapolis and don't play well, stumble, trip, God forbid they win that game and lose to Pittsburgh the next week and don't look good. They'll write listen, they got their notepad ready. They got it ready. We're ready to go. We're reading the press clippings, feeling too good about themselves. They all drink the Kool-Aid. It's part of the game. It's part of it. This game against the Dallas Cowboys is a really big game. And the reason that it is a really big game is because of two things. Dallas really needs this game. Because to be truthful, Dallas could be 0-3. Dallas was down. Atlanta was up 29 to 10. And they came back and won that football game. Dallas has not played well, right? Dallas has not played well. And they got a lot of high-priced people on their team. They need to know whether or not Dak Prescott is the guy. They got a lot of stuff swirling around it. It's just a very pivotal game, right? And for the Cleveland Browns, this would go a long way into solidifying and saying, wow, this could work. This really could work. Showing that, all right, maybe running the football could work. Maybe Baker Mayfield not dropping back to throw the ball 60 times could work. Maybe this part of the game can work. Maybe we can hand the ball to Chubb. Maybe we can hand the ball to Hunt could work. And it's another step in the right step in the process of saying, like, okay, let's go ahead. Let's work with Baker Mayfield. And let's let him settle in, and let's let him keep taking these little steps, taking these little chunks. Because here's the reality. This is not the finished process. Because if we think that this is the finished process into us getting to the playoffs and winning playoff games and going to the Super Bowl with this iteration, of how we need to win games and just running the football, we'll get the brakes beaten off of us. I'm sorry. We'll get destroyed. We'll get mollywopped. I had to bring that back from like 8th grade. We'll get mollywopped. No, this is not it. You have to master this way of playing games, because playing this way is key positions and points during the game where you have to hit throws. One of the people in my comment section said one thing that is very key. He says, I don't want us to have to run the ball. I want us to want to run the ball. I thought that was so brilliantly spoken. I don't want us to have to depend on running the ball. I want us to want to run the ball. And what does that mean? I want to run the ball because I know that they can't stop that. And I know that I can throw the ball at will. But when I throw it, I want it to be meaningful. What I mean by that is when I throw it, these is points. When I'm throwing it to be intentional. I'm throwing it and I know, this touchdown. You can't stop this, because you can't stop that either. But what I'm just doing is I'm setting it up. I'm setting it up because I can throw at will. I could drop back and throw it 25 times and be just as successful as the next person. But this run game is demoralizing. This run game, you can't run it like I can. You see what I'm saying? The Browns' plan of attack is you can't do what I do, but I can do what you do just as good as what you can do. You see where I'm going with this? This is what it means, right? And this is a concept that I really want y'all to get. For the Browns to get where they can actually win a Super Bowl with this type of package and playbook, right? The playbook, the play calling, and the play style needs to be this. You'll never be able to run the ball as good as we run it, because your line is good physically. Your offensive line teaching and philosophy isn't as good as ours. We have the best offensive line coach. Our technique, skill, scheme, as far as our play calling, is the best. We have the best 2 running backs for our scheme in the league. We have the best 2. You'll never have that. So we got that part of the running game down. You'll never have that. But when it comes to our passing game, here's the key. We can pass the ball just as good as 85% of the rest of the league. If we had to, we could drop back and be just as good as 85% of the league. Got just as good as the receivers as 85% of the league. Our quarterback is just as good as 85% of the league. There may be 15% of the league that has a better elite, the elite of the elite quarterbacks. All right, you got Patrick Mahomes. Okay. I guess you got a great quarterback. Oh, okay. You got Lamar Jackson. Well, okay. All right, we'll take that. Oh, you got Russell Wilson. Okay. Works with me. But all the rest of y'all, we could do exactly what y'all do. Exactly. And that's where the Cleveland Browns can win. We can do what you do just as good or better, but you'll never be able to do what we do. And that, like Paul Harvey, is the rest of the story. As always, I think this is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining game for the Cleveland Browns. Keys to victory is run. Look for the big play. Hopefully you can get the big play. And Baker Mayfield, no turnovers. You need a goose egg. No turnovers for the second game in a row. For the Dallas Cowboys, you need to get the receivers going. and you need a Zeke Elliott game. You don't need 400 from Dak. You need a 295 game. You need a 295 and you need the 130 from Zeke. 130 from Zeke, right? And you need Baker Mayfield to give you 2 interceptions. If you can do that, that's a recipe for victory, and you're at home. If you can get that, Dallas can come out on top. As always, man, I keep it real. I keep it real all the time. If you want the real, if you want the recaps, if you want to know what's going on inside the X's and O's, you'll holler at your boy G Bush. You'll holler at the barbershop. As always, check back here. Got a special guest. I got something special coming up for you. Saturday night, check it out. About 8 o'clock, I'm going to do a special 2-on-2 blog with my man Sid, man. Dallas Cowboys blogger. I got something special coming up for you guys. Check it out. It should be up about 8 o'clock. I'll have it on his blog, have it on my blog. It'll be something special coming up. As always, man, like, subscribe. I appreciate y'all. It's a barbershop. Peace.